What is going on, guys? We are at the end of November, Tuesday, November 29th. That is a great day. But hey, we are approaching the Christmas season. I hope everyone's starting their Christmas shopping. I hope everyone's stuffed with turkey, probably sick of leftovers. But hey, we got a great show tonight. Comic News Weekly coming at you live every Tuesday night, or available on replay, or also available in this audio podcast. Over this next hour, we have some great topics we're going to discuss tonight. It's very Disney heavy, but we're talking Disney, we're talking Star Wars, we're talking some more Star Wars, and then of course we always have that surprise topic from Mr. Ryan himself. But I say it's a great day. For those that don't know, a little self-plug here. Big old 45 today is my birthday. Happy birthday. I'm happy to share it with Yunus Musa. You guys might be asking who that is. Midfielder for the United States men's national soccer team that just knocked off Iran and is moving forward to the round of 16 in the World Cup, playing the Netherlands this Saturday. Super excited for that. But hey, like I said, we're talking Disney, we're talking Star Wars. But before we do that, let's bring the people into the show. We are also streaming on Whatnot live right now on this guy's Whatnot channel, Mr. Beyond Wednesdays, Brian McClay.
What up, brother? Trying something new. We're playing around here. We're going to try and start streaming, dual streaming as much as we can on as many platforms as possible and see if it helps out, any of the platforms, trying to collaborate as much as possible and get new eyes on all of our content out there. And we'll see how it plays out. It's worth trying.
Yeah, so if you have that Whatnot app downloaded on your phone, make sure you guys open it up right now. Where can they find you on there, by the way?
I will actually give Andy a link to put in the live chat. You guys can go to Whatnot. You can find me under Brian McClay. That's BRYANMCCLAY, all one word, under Whatnot.
Yes.
I'll be selling live comics.
So you might not hear about it, but he's selling comics in the background on Whatnot live during this show, and then again after this show all night long. Brian said he's not going to sleep. He's staying up till Christmas on Whatnot. So make sure you guys get those comics. But I digress. Let's bring in also Mr. Rhinoverse himself, Mr. Ryan Hayslip.
What's shaking with the bacon? What's the hizzle on the fizzle? Man, it's dark up in here, isn't it? Yeah, so Brian, did you say you're selling live comics? That's fucking crazy. That's the new version of comics. They're live now. They watch live and take groups in your house.
Yeah. Depends on the crazy comic you got up, right?
I got you.
Yeah. Darth Lopez is live from Qatar. Well, his Force Ghost is another great soccer fan, football fan. Always love conversing, going back and forth with Darth Lopez. But World Cup, I was greedy. I was talking to a friend today. It's like, I love the World Cup, but I'm also ready for it to be over. So us true soccer fans can have the sport back to ourselves. But we're the gatekeepers of soccer, damn it. But hey, we also have Mr. Button Pusher, Mr. Dad Joke. I think his beard has grown 3 times just within the past 2 weeks, but we have Mr. Comic Man Andy.
What is good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Excited to be back.
Yeah, I apologize. Like, it's been so busy. I just realized that we missed last week because, of course, I got held up with work, and apologize for that. Had lineup, had the thumbnail out. We were getting ready to go, and then, of course, 2 hours before going live, I got stuck at work. So I apologize for that. But we are here now, and we're making up for it doubly good. But hey, Andy, what do you call a poor Santa Claus?
I don't know what.
Saint Nicholas.
Oh, that's bad.
That one's almost as good as yours.
Nicholas, that's crazy, guys.
Oh, Ryan, do you know why cows always wear bells?
No.
Because their horns are broken.
Because they needed more cowbell. They got a fever.
They got a fever.
Cowbell.
But yeah, since it's his birthday, big Disney fan, got a lot of Disney topics, but there's also some great topics in there for Star Wars. This first one might be a shocker, but as Andy and I were talking behind the scenes, it might really not be that much of a surprise because he asked, what the heck is that? And they're Disney's latest animated movie. Disney's House of Mouse is known for animated movies, right? They had problem before with COVID and theatrical releases and Pixar. People were getting really pissed off because all the Pixar stuff was going straight to Disney Plus streaming. Here's one. This isn't Pixar. This is Disney Animation. It went to a theatrical release, and their new movie, Strange World, it looks like it's going to end up, they're predicting it's going to have $147 million loss. When I was at Disney World a couple weeks ago for vacation at Hollywood Studios, they had an 8-minute preview for this movie. We went to the 8-minute preview. It didn't look too bad, but evidently, I think there was poor marketing. I think there was bad word of mouth. Not too many people knew about this movie, and I didn't see too many ads for it, but this movie didn't do well over the box office.
That's crazy, man. That's a big loss for a Disney movie.
Yeah, there's like the Deadline article is talking about, did they make a mistake by not going to Disney Plus to doing a theatrical release? Is this another thing of, the recently ousted CEO with Bob Chapek? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I mean, Disney's in the news left and right recently. A lot of people are pissed off, not just at movies, but the Disney parks, the nickel and diming, a lot of things. Did you also see, not to go too far off this topic, but Disney was still paying Bob Iger like $10 million for consulting to help consult with the CEO.
Wow.
Just left.
So this kind of connects to the stuff that we were thinking about talking about last week, if I'm not mistaken, because that was kind of when the news was fresh on that. But if they're making that kind of loss, they must have known something like that. I mean, this guy must be,
Mitch. Sorry, Ryan.
That's like
Mitch is coming.
That's like 2 Disney cruises.
No one knows that better than Brian, for sure.
Yeah, but
but this guy
you
must
even know the movie was out. I didn't even know what is the movie about.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
a little small character looks like the dude from Encanto.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a strange father and son.
You know why I know Encanto? Because I got kids.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno, and we also don't go see Strange World evidently. But yeah, I mean, I saw the 8-minute preview, and it looked like a strange.
Wait, 8-minute preview? Does that sound excessively long?
Go in here and watch 8 minutes of the movie, but
8 minutes.
Well,
I mean, like you said, like zero word of mouth, zero marketing. Like there's like I asked you, I'm like, what is this even? I never even heard of this, and he's like, yeah, that's probably part of the problem. We watch Disney Plus every week. Didn't see a single advertisement on Disney Plus on the app anywhere for this.
Not gonna lie, when I saw the topic, I was like, Strange World? Oh, there must be like a Doctor Strange thing at Disneyland or something. Like Disney, like a Doctor Strange themed area, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are they sitting there saying, "Well, we'll just call it"? They cancel each other out between Wakanda and Forever in this, but I know Contangra's put in the live chat that it's also, we're saying it was a woke movie, and the saying "Go woke, go broke." I don't know. I mean, I think there is a LGBT lead in this movie. I don't know if that had something to do with it. I do know people are probably kind of want to go to the movies to escape reality for a couple hours. I don't know if that had something to do with it or not. I just know that from what we were talking about, it doesn't seem like there was that level of marketing that you usually get behind a Disney movie.
Well, definitely
word of mouth. I didn't see too many ads for it. Didn't see too many previews for it. I know Jake Gyllenhaal and Gabrielle Union, I think, are the main voiceover talent for this. But needless to say, we're also talking about a Disney movie. When you have so many success, there's bound to be a failure. I mean, what was the Cars was so successful, and then they tried to go outside of working with, was it Pixar for Cars? And they tried to do their own Disney thing and tried to do planes, and it flopped.
Did it really?
Every Pixar movie's been that great. What was the dinosaur one? That kind of stunk. But
no, the Airplanes one is a mega hit in this household with my kid.
Yeah. Stuff latches on. My kids were that way with Cars, and they just called it.
Have there been any hits for animated series lately, or animated movies?
Say that again.
Have there been any hits for animated movies lately?
Encanto
is a pretty cool movie.
That had a short theatrical window too, right? That wasn't a straight to.
The
I think
other
it was-
one, the other ones I'm thinking of are like, but they're not Disney, like Sing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I
Because
don't know.
I'm a little worried with Spider-Man, as a Spider-Verse 2 coming out, that Super Mario movie looks amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good movies out there that are coming out here soon that I think are going to be good, but could just be hit by the people not going to movie theaters again and seeing certain movies.
My
Yeah,
kids are huge fans of the Buzz Lightyear individual, but I don't know why they changed his look for the new movie.
the Lightyear movie. That
Mhm.
one didn't do too good either, right?
Mm.
Buzz Lightyear? No, it didn't. It didn't do good at all. There was some pushback on that, if I remember correctly, though, too.
There was
Some-
definitely some LGBT situation going on with that one because
Yeah.
his partner was like married
Lassiter.
to another lady or something like that. But it was just real odd the way they kind of shoved it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it John Lasseter, Jay Nunya saying ever since they got rid of the guy from Pixar for like the sexual harassment stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's evidently there was something just Disney as a whole when we kind of had this as a topic for last week when it was announced overnight, like Chapek's out, Iger's back in. They're saying Iger had tension with Chapek the whole time, even though Iger like handpicked his successor. I'm excited for Iger to be back, but he's just one man, right? So it kind of trickles down. We've already seen other success. We're going to talk later in the show about there's a possible other person that might be on the way out at Disney, which I think not too many people would complain about, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But at the same time, right, we also we talked about House of Dragon on the show, right? We've compared it to the Rings of Power, and a lot of people's like apples to oranges. Well, it is, but it isn't because they were kind of going at each other at the same time, airing in the same time frame, not the same day and everything. But we actually have something that has knocked House of Dragon off the most in demand show, right there, Beardo?
I am actually really surprised this made the headlines. Well, not that it made the headlines. I was actually surprised to see this. We've got Disney Plus series finally beats House of the Dragon to become most in-demand new show. Now, after all of the grumpiness at the beginning of Andor and a lot of people and how they talked about how slow it was, and I'm not downplaying that, and I agree with where a lot of people are coming from. Boy, did they deliver at the tail end. Disney Plus can now boast that it has slayed HBO's Max's biggest beast, the Game of Thrones prequel series House of the Dragon. According to new reports and analysis, Star Wars series Andor finally managed to topple it from its Iron Throne, pun possibly intended, in terms of average audience demand. Demand rose considerably as Andor headed into its season 1 finale over Thanksgiving holiday that surged a reported 7% bumped the series to 37.7 times the average levels of demand. House of the Dragon came in at 33.9 based on factors that include streaming, downloads, social media, general buzz, and consumer data. Now, do you think
this ties directly what we were talking about also our last show where we announced that they were going to show episodes 1 and 2 on regular, well, I won't say regular TV, but regular cable, Freeform, Hulu,
Peacock?
Some of that article talks about that, but I think we got the answer to our question is I think it increased viewership or anticipation for that show. Although we also still agree episodes 1 and 2 weren't probably the best ones to show because it really starts picking up at 3. But
what I want to know is how many Star Wars fans out there have been Star Wars fans for so long that they're just not paying attention to this new Star Wars content because of the last 3 movies. Are they just they heard what was going on and said, nope, done. They're not paying attention to Star Wars at all. Then this kind of unlocks the gate for them, so to speak. And they're coming back, finding a new love for Star Wars and kind of finding out what they can deliver.
I think they were, and then Mandalorian came, and then they were rejuvenated, and then Boba Fett came, and then they were depressed.
They were unjuvenated.
Even Obi-Wan to me wasn't the best, but Andor, if you're not watching Andor, oh my God, it's so good. You get to see it from the basic human level of how the Empire and the rise of the Empire affects just your basic citizens. And and
I'm about
if you
halfway in.
haven't watched the extra credit scene of the finale, it just adds like a whole extra layer to like the last 4 or 5 episodes.
I'm with Jay right here on this comment too.
Yeah,
Jay's
I was
comment-
thinking that same thing. Andy Serkis to me, I've always been a huge fan of Gary Oldman as an actor. Andy Serkis, I feel almost in that same way where he's so versatile, plays so many different characters. And then you add just the mocap stuff that he always does. I mean, the guy's freaking multi-talented.
Very
Yeah.
expressional.
But
I agree. I think he's one of the best directors out there too right now. That's for sure.
so
I mean, you can see all of the years he's done mocap. You can see that come to the screen in Andor, like all of this culminating, how expressive he was on the series. I haven't seen Andy Serkis as a standard actor in anything besides this.
I'm still pissed they killed him off in Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. He was actually good as a he's just
He
a
was
great
so
actor.
good
He's
as
a great
Claw.
everything. Yeah. He's a great everything.
Yeah, I mean, Solo Wookiee had a great comment. You know, that slow burn storytelling, it paid off. I think a lot of people with the TikTok and the Instagram reels, and we're so used to quick dopamine, quick satisfaction, short attention span, that a lot of people started to get pissed off at some slow burn type stories. I think Walking Dead can be blamed for some of that, because I used to get so pissed off. Like 4 episodes of The Walking Dead was just character building arcs that just pissed me off.
Yeah.
But Andor definitely has a great payoff. The storyline builds on top of each other. I need to go back and rewatch some of it, because naturally, like I said, my attention span went away while watching some of it, checking stuff on my phone. But yeah, Andy Serkis definitely needs to learn how to swim.
That's a good way of putting it. I felt rewarded at the end of that. This is one of the very few shows that I've watched recently where at the end, after everything was done, I felt rewarded. I genuinely felt rewarded for spending my time in that.
Yeah, and don't want to get into too many spoilers yet, but we will eventually as we talk more about it, but let people catch up on it. But I'm super excited about that. There hasn't been too much on Disney Plus. I did watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which was pretty good, but Andor is definitely my Mandalorian, and then Andor are my favorite Star Wars shows on Disney Plus at the moment.
I think the only sad thing is that, like, as this comment right here is, they're mastering the craft on a Star Wars series, we're only getting a second season of Andor, if I remember correctly. It's confirmed that it's just a second season, and every 3 episodes in season 2, if I'm understanding this correctly, is going to be like a multi-year arc, like the first full 12 episodes of season 1 was a year, is my understanding. Then season 2, every 3 episodes is going to be a year. So there's going to be 4 years taking place in the second season, and then Andor's done. It's kind of sad.
So that might be pretty good, though.
Have they finished filming the second season already?
I think they've started. I think they've either pre-production or just started production. But
I'm really surprised that it beat House of Dragons because of how boring the first 2 episodes were. But so was House of Dragons, in my opinion. House of Dragons, the first 2 episodes weren't that great either. So maybe now I think about it, maybe not. But House of Dragons, I still think was better than Andor. I hate to say that because I'm such a big Star Wars fan, and I really hate both of them right now. But I'm slowly coming back. You know what I mean? Like I really hate them. I hate.
Well, you get a bad taste in your mouth. That's the only thing you could probably have similarities with, because they're so kind of different besides fantasy. But you get a sour taste in your mouth both from the last trilogy films and then from season 6 on in the original Game of Thrones. so that's redemption arcs, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, we obviously, everybody here that's been a fan of Star Wars or watched Star Wars content in the last decade knows how this is going to play out, but getting to there is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And if Lewis is right, we're not getting Andor season 2 until 2024.
That sounds about right.
I'm still excited nonetheless. We've got a lot of great, amazing content for 2023.
You're not going to starve for content. I think Disney Plus puts something on almost every hour.
You want to know what would be really interesting to compare is how much HBO spent on House of Dragons versus how much Disney spent on Andor.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool metric to see. Too bad it's not like here and prevalent like right away, because I think HBO spent way more money on House of Dragons. I think they really did.
Well, and then Disney now shoots a lot of stuff in. I think this had more. Andor might have had more practical effects, but I noticed Disney has a lot of stuff. Well, one, they got Industrial Light and Magic at their disposal, and they're no shy there. But they have that. What do they call it now? Like the room.
Or, that big interior globe of LED.
That you can just basically put anything you want. That's just a freaking
what was it?
Type LED background, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah, it's badass, dude. It's awesome.
They developed it for Mandalorian.
Yeah. What's his name? Favreau.
And John Favreau and Dave Filoni developed it for Mandalorian, and the HBO has a really good like Mandalorian season 1 special of how it was created, like how the season was created, and they talk about that quite a bit. And it's absolutely mind-bogglingly amazing at the quality of background they're getting with just LED screens at a fraction of the cost of CGI. And I think it delivers a much more seamless experience on screen, and I really do enjoy that. And I think it is a fantastic way to bring Star Wars stories to life on the screen at a much more affordable long-term rate. Like we talked about this months ago, like what's the sustainability of what these companies are spending to produce the content that we're enjoying. And I think Filoni and Favreau found the most economical, affordable way to deliver a super high quality space. Like your eye isn't always paying attention to what happens in the background, but the background is one of the most important portions of watching a show, because anything amiss, anything wrong, one dead pixel on your computer screen in the background of a show that you're watching, your eyes drawn to it. You catch it. And they did such a seamlessly amazing job with Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and just with the backgrounds. When I say Boba Fett,
too bad the backgrounds couldn't say Boba Fett. That sucked.
But you guys know what I'm getting at, right? What they're able and
what you're getting at is the actors should get less of a salary because they don't have to act as much because they can like
not what I'm saying.
Environment. It's not like
so much more economical.
And imagining shit's there. It's like they can see it.
It's so much more economical to take care of that than it is to fly people to New Zealand every year or two to film a bunch of stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, when they're doing that, it pays off, but.
Yeah, but yet they'll still like fly your ass around the world for like one shot in front of a mailbox and then fly your ass back to be in that damn LED screen room.
I think that's what's great about Star Wars, though, and the fact that you have so many of these characters that you don't have to pay actors to be.
Yeah.
They can just wear a mask, or they can be CG. Yeah. I know there's certain ones,
How much do you think Grogu gets paid for that part?
Exactly.
Well, what about the guy who plays the hand or it on Wednesday's show?
Great point. That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to pay those people. And it's very interesting to see. Like, I would love to see Marvel start taking that role, because I feel like that's why we're not going to get any more Guardians teams that we know.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because they have to pay Chris Pratt so much. They have to pay Zoe Saldana a ton, Dan Bautista so much. Like they can
shot themselves in the foot because they set the rate kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, well, think about Avengers Endgame. How much money they had to pay the actors for that series? They had to pay the actors for that so much money. It was unreal.
Yeah, but the payoff was worth it.
Yeah, they got all that back.
I mean, I actually liked Infinity War better than Endgame, but like to me, Infinity War was Empire Strikes Back, and Endgame was Return of the Jedi.
But could you imagine, like, if you think about like, what was that one that came out? With the there was that one that came out right after pandemic. It was the
Eternals.
Yeah,
sucked.
They spent all the money to get a lot of those actors in there, and then it flops.
Yeah, beyond terrible, man.
Grogu gets paid in frog eggs.
Yeah. Beyond terrible.
There's a
I
part
don't
2
know.
coming out too.
Yeah. Well, I think that they need to. I think that they have so much that they need to build around those characters for the future for the cosmic stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm really it's gonna be really interesting to see what Star Wars does next that's not Andor. Like is their next thing gonna be a hit too? Because I feel like they have this thing where they're up and down, up and down, up and down. And
Mandalorian season 3, February, right?
coming soon, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he's going to be on Disney Plus and HBO Max there. You're going to have, instead of Grogu, it's some other whiny character next to him.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is going to be all over the bandwagon, all over the TV waves.
Solo Wookiee brought up a good point. We're talking about how much does Grogu get paid, but it must have been a pain in the ass to train those dragons for those scenes in House of Dragon. I mean,
I will say that there was some CGI issues with House of
it's
Dragon.
all real life dragons. I flew on one similar at Disney World.
You flew on one?
Yes.
Well,
it was a Banshee in Pandora. I flew on that bitch.
Y'all wheel.
But either way, House of Dragon's great. Andor is great. If you haven't watched either of them, highly recommend that. And keeping with Star Wars McClay,
the person I love to hate.
One that's no love lost, right?
Yeah, the person I love to hate, Kathleen Kennedy, on her way out at Disney. I've been waiting for this. I know a lot of us fans have, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. The only problem is that on her way out, she's going to ruin Indiana Jones.
Taking her on with me.
Yeah.
Can't ruin it more than Crystal Skull.
I don't know, dude.
My beer.
There's word on the street that Indy's going to be replaced with a new female Indy. And, that didn't work for Ghostbusters. It doesn't seem to work for a lot of movies.
Yeah,
so just be careful.
You saw Disney just kiboshed the Margot Robbie Pirates film.
Yep. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of a bummer, but we'll see what happens. For those of you guys that don't know, Kathleen Kennedy has kind of been the overlord of the Star Wars world for a while, and she was part of the whole sequel thing that just totally bombed and all that terrible stuff that was so bad. That's all because of Kathleen Kennedy hiring Abrams and Ryan Johnson and just a bunch of terrible stuff. But word on the street is that John Campea, a guy who writes for what is this, Inside the Magic, John Campea has heard from sources that Lucasfilm's plans for Kennedy to step down after Indiana Jones 5, which will debut in the summer. This decision would have someone else to handle the impossible task that Kevin Feige and now James Gunn face, creating projects that fans will love and tell a compelling story for a franchise. And a lot of people have been wondering, like, maybe Feige could be that guy for Star Wars too. I don't think so. He kind of got a role there, but there's a lot of people out there that people are hoping that it could be.
Especially if there's still the rumor. Wasn't there rumor or Taika Waititi was supposed to direct a Star Wars movie? I don't know if that's such a great...
No, get rid of Taika. No more. No, we don't want him more. But what we do want is Dave Filoni. We want Dave Filoni to take over that role. He is perfect for that role. He has been groomed for that role for a long time. He's big. He's major friends with George Lucas, and I don't think Kennedy's buddy with Lucas anymore. So, that would be a good thing. You want George Lucas to be a part of Star Wars. I don't care how much you hate him for what he did in the prequels, but man, that's not half as bad as what happened in the sequel. So we want George Lucas to be there. George Lucas was part of The Mandalorian being made. He was part of the resurgence of Star Wars. We love that original stuff. So hopefully that'll happen. But I don't know if Filoni wants it. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah, if I was Filoni, I would stay in that streaming space because you get really more opportunity to tell the story you want to tell over 6, 8, 10 episodes versus maybe a trilogy, but I don't know. It's hard to tell creative people what what they want, what their passion is, right? So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
You can
Well,
really get more
There's a
in depth
peacock. You got to let them fly.
Yeah.
with that streaming media. You can really get a little more in depth and get a little more layers to that character development versus a 6-hour trilogy or a 7 or 8 hour trilogy.
Yeah. It's just, I didn't hate the last trilogy, but there was just, it didn't meet expectation,
No.
especially with
They
the
made
Knights
Luke
of
a
Ren.
pussy.
I was just like, oh, yeah. And I'm not the biggest Star Wars geek by any means, but I was looking forward to the Knights of Ren, and I was like, well, shit.
Yeah, they made Luke such a baby in it. And even Mark Hamill was like, this isn't the Luke that I played,
Yeah.
you know. This is not the Luke that I know. They made him just a wimp. They should have never killed him off. They should have never left from the Skywalker saga or said they were. Should have never been in their thought process. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. And
Well, especially if you basically retell the same thing.
yes, yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what they did, and they messed it up too. The writing on it was terrible, and then they brought. Anyways, we all know how bad they messed all that up. That being said, it's going to be interesting to see where they go. Get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Star Wars fans can now rejoice that the Overlord is gone, and there's a new day in Star Wars. That's all I got to say. That being said, you guys, we are still streaming on Whatnot. You guys can go check it out. I sent Andy the link in the private chat if you guys want to check anything out over there. Doing a little dual streaming on Whatnot as we continue the show.
Yeah, definitely. What type of books you got going on there right now?
You know what, man? I've just been putting up cool, interesting stuff. I've got like this Middleton Poison Ivy variant going on right now, as you guys can see right here.
There's a fantastic Middleton book coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Also, I've got slabs. I got tons of slabs available. Stuff like this. This is the Gamora slab, 9.6 Gamora 2 Matina variant. I have big boy books. If people are looking to get some craziness, I got the first Thunderbolts in a 9.8 that's available.
That's cool.
Andy saw this yesterday. This is a cool Saga second print 9.8 that's available. This is really cool, and this is one of the rarest Star Wars books that you're ever going to see. This is from Phoenix Comic-Con. Brian, you'll know who this is. This
Green.
Yep, Paul Green goodness right here. This is a limited to 100 Phoenix Comic-Con variant. So that's a pretty cool Stormtrooper cosplay variant that they call it, I guess.
Is that an old CBCS?
Oh, yes, it's yes, old school one. As you can see.
Rivets.
No, not rivets. Before the rivets.
Mm.
And then here's a Mark Brooks roller derby. So we got a ton of we got a Young Avengers 9.8. So we got a ton of like slabs available if people are interested in those. But we also got a ton of raw books that I've been going through as the story unfolds.
Plus, if you're looking for something, let McClay know.
Oh yeah, I got a ton of it. I just sold a complete run of, or not a complete run, like 17 of the Frizen Wonder Woman series. 17 covers. So I think I sold 17 books for $65. So deals to be had out there right now.
Nice.
Yep.
Ryan, mystery topic time.
Yeah. It's funny that this time I was thinking about what was something cool to discuss, and it's interesting that we've actually talked about it a few times.
Not that Falcons team.
What about the Falcons team? But so you were talking earlier about how because of like streaming media and because of like TikToks and stuff like that, it's kind of changed the way people watch movies, or kind of like what their attention span is. We're using Whatnot right now. That's a newer kind of adaptation to our collecting and to our hobby. And there's just a lot of different like things added to the hobby and what we do to either make it better, or either enhance it or make people be able to collect the things they want to collect? Or do you think that there's do you think that it actually can detract or take away from what we're doing? So my question is there a application, or is there a piece of technology currently that we're using that if you could, you would go back to whenever they've invented it and keep it from being invented?
Oh man, just for hobbies, that's a great question.
I mean, because the show is based around hobbies, I don't want to talk about world wars and whatnot like that.
I'll be honest. I wish they never would have started the whole exclusive variant thing. I think the exclusive variant thing has become, bad for the hobby. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it was good in the beginning, and I think it's burning a lot of people out. So I don't know if I would say I never wish they never would have started it. That's a little harsh, but that's one of the things I can think of that's kind of been tough on the
I
game.
think it's the hobby itself though that makes it good and then makes it bad.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I see both sides of it. I see exactly where you're coming from, but then we also have friends just like you would that some of that helps put food on the table, and that's part of their business model. So I like that for them and wish them success in it. But as a collector, I also see where you're coming from, where people, I mean, it's natural reaction where they flock to things or flock to trends, and then sometimes they come late to trends. You see it in comics all the time. I mean, you can sit there and say cover swipes or homages, or when something gets hot, and then everyone gets to it, it quickly gets oversaturated, it loses its notoriety, and then it becomes stale, and it's like on to the next thing. It's like the giving tree. I mean, we eat that shit up until there's nothing left of it, and then we're like, that's fucking stupid, and then move on to something else until it's great, and then we bitch about it, and then we're like, that's fucking stupid. We move on, and then next thing you know, we've moved on 16 times, and then the first thing is fucking cool again.
Well, I'll give you an example of something that like being able to have a platform like eBay to be able to buy all your comics and stuff like that, versus have the ability to go to the comic store. In some cases, it's great because some people don't have the comic store, but the brick and mortar places are not. It's just hard for them to stay up. So because it's harder for them to stay up,
that's also them need to innovate. Where they need to have an e-commerce platform with the brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar stores can just as efficiently, and in fact, in some cases, even cheaper than the solo guy selling on eBay or other places, pack and ship new comic book day books all across the country.
They have the sales and then that type stuff without shipping.
Well, it's whether you're paying for shipping from eBay or somewhere else, or whether you're shipping from California or to the East Coast, the people that are sticking with their hometown LCSs don't care what the shipping cost is. They're supporting their hometown LCS. I've heard many profiles and stories of people in the comic book community that is stuck with their hometown LCS all the way across the country because that's who they want to support. So, like, I know my LCS, they are fantastic with what they provide and what they're available. They don't have that where they have a group of people flocking to them and ordering and having them shipped, but they have that ability. They have the infrastructure and the people if they commit to it.
Check that out. That like this comment right here from Kings of the Golden State. Key collector and eBay screwed up the game for hunters like myself. And there's two types of collectors out there. And there are those folks that again, it's a double-edged sword. Key collectors, it's a useful invention, but it's also caused a lot of it's kind of affected the market in a lot of different ways, and a lot of things in a negative way. And it's also caused people to get really excited about something for no reason because it made it monetized. It was all based around money and not really the art of collecting.
Well, let's be honest. Key collector took away the reward of earning that knowledge, right? The reward of earning that knowledge was being able to rifle through the bins, be educated, know what you're grabbing, and be rewarded for that effort and that knowledge. Just giving somebody knowledge doesn't teach them how to use it, which is why we find all of the knee-jerk reactions and the overpaying and overpurchasing and these outwardly wild outliers of an exclusive variant going on and then selling out in 30 seconds and then being immediately put online on eBay for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Part of that is flipping, but the other part of that is people paying for that is they're reacting in an uneducated manner because they're reacting to what is being dropped in their lap.
I mean, I get it, and I understand. Just like with McClay and the incentives, I see it from the hobby perspective. I understand the frustration, but I also see it from someone from a savvy, innovative person. I mean, if you've seen the movie Robots, another animated movie, see a need, feel a need, Mr. Bigwell. He saw a need that was out there. He innovated a need. You like it or hate it, you know.
These things are all
innovative. That's like people getting. You don't see people getting pissed off at StreamYard because StreamYard leveled the playing field for YouTube streamers that made it just one click. I'm streaming shit. Where before you had to figure out how to use OBS, you had to do graphics, you had to figure out how to do lower thirds, you had to figure out how to do all this shit. So that's similar to what people did to help people in the hobby. Now it's a source of information and people flock to it. It's you can't control information. You can put it. What people do with that information is up to them. But I also get where people get frustrated with apps like that. But at the same time, we're in a nation of capitalism, man, and I'm not faulting the guy that has a successful business model and has done with it what he has. Now, that's two different sides of the coin when you're looking at it from that side and then from the hobby side. I get both stories, but I'm not gonna,
I don't think there's anything bad, to be honest. I think everything that we can think of that we've named, even ultimately is good for the hobby. It's brought more eyes onto the hobby. It's made certain people. I bring up the whole thing about us being under a big, huge tent, and we're all under hang out around different tent poles, and I think that our tent pole is much, much smaller than we think it is. I don't think that there's as many people out there that are selling books, that are trying to make money off of this stuff. I think that's very, very small. And it's very interesting because I don't know. I would love to know if most of the people who buy on apps like Whatnot are readers or flippers. You know what I mean? I want to know if they even read their books. Matter of fact, anybody that's watching right now that's on Whatnot, I got 6 people, it looks like, in my sale right now. Let me know if you guys are readers or you're flippers or you're both. I would love to hear that because I bet you.
Or if you're just Christmas shopping for your young kids.
Yeah, I doubt that too. But oh, that's another one, like Mike says and Whatnot. The collectors too. Some people just like to collect.
Yep.
Right. So that's probably the biggest tent pole, right? That you could put people under as a collector that don't sell. They just love to have a PC collection, that type of shit. So
there's all types of different, that's the one thing. There's a lots of different personalities out there, and a lot of people are doing things for different reasons, and so you usually can tell the person that's selling something because they're selling to make some money off of it, or the person that's selling something because they're spreading the hobby, spreading the love, if you will, because they can talk to what they're selling and they have that knowledge, that in-depth knowledge, those little fine tweaks that maybe someone, even someone that reads, might not understand. And so, it's to each his own, and everyone deserves the ability to be able to live out what they want to live out. I just kind of was thinking, like, I wonder if there's one thing, like, if I could fast forward and see the future in 20 years, is there something that we have right now that's going to be, man, in 20 years, if we would have never had that, we would be in a better spot, and I don't know what that would be that we have right now, but, I was just kind of thinking through that.
Man, I think one thing that comes to mind is if we didn't have it, I don't know, but like I look at GPA and how GPA collects and uses data, and then they gatekeep it for a monthly fee. Whereas, if you look at that whole not influence, but that whole collection of data on what the market is doing, why is it being gatekept for a monthly fee? 1, 2, why is it only CGC books that they're tracking and not CBCS? And 3,
I think that's dumb.
I've been using GPA. I'll admit I've been using GPA and I've been paying for GPA for, I don't know, 15, 20 years since its inception. and it has had almost no innovation. They've had one website remake, and it's kind of stuck cross between desktop and mobile. But overall, if you take that and look at the bigger picture, we've never really, no one company has ever really capitalized to bring everything together and say, here it is, community. I mean, look at how we track the stock markets and NASDAQ and how it's been in our papers for eons. And now, granted, the comic book market pales in comparison to the stock market and how long in its history. But nonetheless, why is that data half being gate kept, and why is the other half so kind of not? I mean, cover price does pretty good for what it is collecting, but it's not fully encompassing, right? And that's still even a subscription fee too, I think.
I would almost venture to say that comics have probably been around longer than the market, but.
Oh yeah, comics have definitely been around longer than the secondary market. I mean, there
Well, I
wasn't
think
even
stock
a comic
market, right?
store
No, I think
until-
the stock market was before comic books.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, stock market like
yeah.
1880s, early 1900s, something like that.
I'll do
I
some
mean-
research as y'all talk amongst yourselves.
7 years ago.
I mean, comic books as we know them started what, the teens, the 20s?
The stock
Ish.
market started. Are you talking about the American stock market or the actual stock market? 'Cause the actual stock market started in Amsterdam in like the 1400s.
Yeah, with
So-
the tulip bulbs, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they talked about back? Yeah.
AT&T, 1792.
Well, there you go. So definitely the stock market's been around much longer than comic books.
And I think there's some early examples of comic books into the late 1800s, the turn of the century, but comic books as we know them, what McClay, you would know better than that. Comic books as we know them, kind of like what, teens and 20s, maybe.
Like 100-year difference.
The late 1800s, they call it the Platinum Age, is where they kind of first started. So
Okay. First comic book was in 1897.
there you go.
The Yellow
Not
Kid, McFadden's Flats.
But that's
Yep.
kind of one thing that if we could go back, throw out what we have, and start over, where we're at with as a community and with our knowledge, we could create something that would be much more beneficial for the community overall educationally.
I don't think there's anything you'd look back and say, hey, I'd get rid of that, because everything shapes the hobby to what it is. And then if it's something that's not really that great to begin with, it doesn't usually last very long. It kind of trickles out. I think that the hobby kind of takes care of itself. Each person, it's like a hobby as a community, but then you also have your collected as yourself of what is your motive at the time? What is your why? Are you collecting to collect? Are you collecting to invest? Are you collecting to flip? Are you and it's not static. It kind of changes from time to time. So we might sit there, and as Brian says, he might be like, fuck exclusives right now. And then next thing you know, I'm not saying he will or not, but some might be a time like, bro, I'm loving these exclusives that are coming out for so-and-so. That's just a small thing, but I wouldn't
guarantee
change anything in the hobby, because it's what makes the hobby what it is.
Yeah, there's a big contingent of people I know that are back, are in the same camp with or tentpole as Mitch, that say grading has really caused a big issue with a lot of things, and I think that the grading, I think, is more of a monetary issue, and I think it's that grading arena is going to be, I think in a few years, it's going to kind of almost implode, I believe, because of the subjection of how subjective it is. And I mean, see, this is a whole other topic, but with CGC, the way that they're handling their grading, and then you have CBCS, who was real strict, but then no one liked it because it was so strict. And now CGC is starting to be real strict, and everyone's pissed off at CGC because they're being real strict. But that has to be strict, because that's what keeps it true.
Yeah, but chew on this for a minute. Without CGC or without CBCS, how much smaller would the comic book community be now, or comic book collectors? How much smaller would it be? The grading of comic books made comic books marketable to the average Joe Schmo that was probably taken aback or probably overwhelmed by having to figure out how to grade and know that they're paying the right amount and not getting taken for what, you know what I mean? They put it, the grading of comic books made it a level playing field. Huh?
PSA is grading Funkos now.
Well, the overall grading of comic books, it feels like it leveled the playing field for collectors, right? When it comes to learning how to grade books.
But the problem is that everyone has different rules when it comes to it.
Not necessarily. There, you're minute differences, but it's not like CGC's here and CBCS is down here, and it doesn't flip flop. And they don't say, well, this missing corner makes it a 6 versus CGC makes it an 8. There's tolerances in there. It's not like a giant difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's still the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comic Books is how the graders really go by a lot of that.
And I think that might be even where if the graded thing was to implode, the good old book that everyone's used was what everyone is. At the end of the day, that's like the backbone of a lot of things. Is the good old printed book that has all those pricings in it. And there's people nowadays, like if someone tells me they're grading and they're looking on eBay and that's how they're getting prices, I'm like, okay, but when they pull a book out and they're getting it from the back street or what is it, the Overstreet book, I'm like, okay, I can take that as truth versus what's going on with eBay, where that's really that's subjective to what's going on currently in the market or in people's what's movies and stuff that are out there and whatnot.
But isn't currently in the market like what the market truly is?
Correct. I mean, it is, but in the long haul, if you're looking at like a book to collect, like you say, blue chips, the value of a blue chip, it will fluctuate, just like in the market. But then you have like these new stocks that come out that are here today. It's kind of like a cryptocurrency. It's like it's all over the damn place,
Yeah.
Good topic.
Great topic. Yeah.
Tomorrow's New Comic Book Day. Well,
That's
today and tomorrow. I always hate that Tuesday and stuff, but Wednesday's still New Comic Book Day for us.
It's currently comic book.
What are you guys picking up tomorrow? It's a pretty decent day.
Let me share my screen real quick for you.
You're saying it, but you're Mr. Star Wars, Beardo.
There's only one Star Wars title hitting. What's the Dark Horse stuff doing? There's not a lot of Star Wars hitting tomorrow.
What am I doing? It's called previews.
There's a lot coming out tomorrow. Batman coming out, Detective coming out tomorrow. Let me see here. Captain America, Avengers Assemble Alpha number 1, a couple new books. Maybe there isn't a lot coming out, maybe you're right. No Star Wars.
I saw a lot of just fanboy cover picks and reading books for me.
Yeah, a lot of independent books.
But I will tell you, I'm not a big Wildstorm fan, but that Josh Milton Wildstorm 30th anniversary cover is freaking awesome.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Wow, the Souza Micah variant is beautiful for that too.
Everyone's also jumping on the Campbell, but I'm not a big fan of the Campbell one.
I love the Souza Micah, man. Here's the Middleton. Wow.
That's cool.
Middleton's so good. The Campbell, of course, he's going to do Fairchild, right? I like it. I like to see Campbell do Fairchild, man.
Yeah, it looks like Mary Jane in green.
Yeah, you're right. Lieber Mayo has a 1 in 25. It's okay. Yeah, I think the winner on that one. I don't hate to say it. Is Souza Micah. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, that's a cool book. That's a very cool book. What about Vampirella? Was there anything cool on the Vampirella variants? Because that's a great cover right there.
Yeah.
Wow. There's some good covers here. Guillermo March, Cohen. Oh, look at Carla Cohen's. Carla Cohen is getting more real and real every time she draws. Like I feel like I'm looking at a picture.
Yeah. Raza used to be that way.
Yeah. Perillo.
Was that Goo?
Linsner. Cosplay. I don't know, man. That Turner is very nice on that one. There's a Detective. The Detective Annual for 2022 is coming out. It says, as a werewolf, Gael has lived through many generations, and so he has visited Gotham Land before, hundreds of years ago. Take a trip back to the 1700s Renaissance Gotham with Gael on Arkham Land to help remember with him exactly where he buried something important and how he has to dig it back up. And in a twist of fate, a dark knight in town also seems to be looking for something from out of time. his way back home to the present. So that's kind of cool. Interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of reading, Image has that plush number 1. It's like cannibal furries.
Sounds strange.
Wait, hold on. There's Star Wars books out this week. Hold on.
Your
Very-
movie poster cover too. There's
Very
the,
top, unless you sorted by name.
Plus, yeah, name. There we go. Plush. I gotta check that plush
Crazy
out.
looking.
That looks awesome.
there's a couple, like there's Tula Lotay cover, I believe.
Tony Fleece.
Yep, Tony Fleece.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good dog.
There's the Tulu Lotte. That's such a great premise. That is such a great premise. Oh
What
man,
was the one on the
John
bottom? That's kind of a cool looking cover.
John Jiang.
John Jiang, he's doing it, man.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd buy stock in John Jiang if he was like, if you're like trying to ride like a. I think he's doing so good.
Here's the Star Wars book. Of course, Vader has got that great cover.
Adventures.
That Raza cover.
Yeah, beautiful cover.
It's just the 3 covers this week, and they're all cover price. And then the Raza Virgin variant, I'm guessing you can get from his website or something, or
I'm picking up all the Clark Revelations variants because they're just so good. I mean, that's beautiful. I wish he wouldn't have put him there though. Anyways, the LaRocca's decent. What about the other Star Wars?
The Adventures or whatever.
Yeah, Adventures. That's got a decent cover on it.
I keep forgetting that Dark Horse has got it back.
Padawan Sav Maligan joining the ranks of Noble Jedi Order has been all she's ever wanted, but a chance encounter with a crew of eccentric misfits makes her question everything she's taken for granted in her life. Trapped aboard the ship with infamous space pirate Maz Kanata, will Sav ever be able to rejoin the Jedi? And if she spends too much with Maz and her crew, will she even want to? Very interesting. Good looking cover. Great looking character. So interesting.
Oh,
What else do we got? Hold on here. Why did it do that? Where did we go? There we go. All right. Strange Academy.
Stillwater's always a good pick.
Great freaking cover right there. Wow.
Was that like a trading card? No, that's like a. What's the one on the bottom?
Yeah, trading card variant.
It's like an 89 tops almost.
It's the Marvel Impel run. The the 90s Marvel cards. Yeah, that's a good one. And then there's what is this? What is it? RC Rico variant? That's nice. Strange Academy is great, man. What was the other one you said, Brian?
I'm picking up Briar number 2 from Boom, just from the reader standpoint. But yeah, Stillwater, it's always a good one from Zdarsky. But Briar's that one that's like Sleeping Beauty. If he came and never kissed her and woke her up.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like almost like, I hate to compare it to Game of Thrones, but it's like Fairy Tale gets dark and violent real quick. I think there's some Tula Lotay covers for that as well.
Fancy variant, Franny variant.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that's a great looking character right there.
What's she holding?
Whatever that is. Briar Rose.
Wow, we're homaging Berserker already?
Can you look at Cerebus or Cerub? Aardvark.
Yeah.
Maybe they aren't homage Berserker.
It's on the Cerebus or Cerebus or right there.
Oh.
There. You were up there.
Aardvark.
Right there.
Yeah.
Up one, over to the right two, next to Briar.
Oh, right there.
That seems odd to be homaging such a early modern or such a new modern book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of soon.
Yeah.
Ride the
Thanks.
lightning, bro.
Yeah. That's cool stuff, man.
It's a pretty quiet week for me. I mean, seriously, Darth Vader, High Republic Adventures. I mean, I don't even think they're releasing any variants of High Republic Adventures. And then Stillwater, and then a damaged 1 in 50 that didn't show up last week or the week before for Something Is Killing the Children. So there's 6 comic books is all I'm picking up tomorrow.
That Bob Phantom from Archie looks pretty decent too. Just from a wow, I'll pick that up type.
A lot of interesting books this week, that's for sure.
Well, they're like I don't even know what to describe it. It's not like hot or it's just for me. It was just like random. That looks kind of cool.
You know, it looks crazy. It's from Boom Studios. Approach.
Did you see that John Royal cover?
Yeah, and huge shout to John Royal wishing me a happy birthday today. Made my day.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Aren't you so cool?
Look at that cover right there.
I was looking at that. I forget the name of the artist because I was trying to figure out who.
Who wouldn't look at that?
Man, there's some really good Watson is his name.
Pose looks painful. Pose looks painful. Painful. What am I saying?
Jesus, man.
Tired
Dude.
already. I'm with Cosmic One. Slow week for sure. We'll take it because right before the holidays here, I know a lot of other people are doing their Christmas shopping or trying to. So to have a quiet comic week is kind of nice. Just get some good reads in.
That looks interesting. Erratic, Recharged, Kari Andrews.
Yeah, I haven't read the Recharge, but I did read the first Erratic.
What about Approach from Boom? It's a crazy looking cover to me.
I don't see it.
Here, go up one more. Is it already at the top?
Oh, it's up one more.
Right there.
Yeah, that is a crazy looking cover. Holy
Oh,
cow. Wow. That's creepy.
That I like.
It's odd, dude.
Who's right? Or what production?
Ooh.
Jeremy Hahn.
Oh,
Terrifying creature from the lost flight suddenly reappears, making meals of the helpless passengers.
I didn't read the premise or anything, but it looked crazy, the covers.
What is that phrase? Just when I was out and they pulled me back in.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds pretty good.
So I guess it
Didn't
must
Jeremy Hahn write Realm from Image also? I think.
Hold on, let me start the Skybound sale here.
Ooh, we'll drop that link back in the chat too for anybody watching that wants to check out Brian's sale tonight. How long are you going after this?
go all night.
I'm gonna keep going for an hour or two, probably an hour, maybe a half hour. Depends on how it goes. I might stop. Who knows? If people are buying stuff, I'll continue.
So,
but a lot of crazy stuff out there to
Crazy.
be
yeah, it's definitely like a weird new comic book day. It's not dead, but it's just like unique.
It usually
stuff.
happens though around the holidays. It's always kind of
Oh yeah, by Christmas week it's dead.
yeah.
That Raza Vader though is looking good.
Where's this?
Yeah, where's the Saga for the Doomed homages that Mitch is talking about?
Saga for the Doomed. Hold on. Right
there
here.
you go.
There's a Watchmen one.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Right here. Mitch, game winner.
Yeah.
Game set match
The Marvel
right there.
frames.
Yep. Got to get one of these. That's awesome. You know me, I hate homages, but sometimes, man, when they get you
I hate them.
this,
I like them.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, old school Marvel handbook,
Yeah.
Doomed Universe. That's cool.
and
What's
then
it
they did
about?
the DC handbook.
Ooh,
Yeah, good. That's a great point. Spent after Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Look at this one too.
I bought a handheld vacuum for Cyber Monday. I'm so old.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Strange. Let's see if there's any good Strange covers. Nope, just the
Wow.
land variant. Not a fan.
No, that reminds me of some 90s Marvel cards.
Lower Decks. I know everybody loves that show, but Star Trek's for nerds.
Yeah, I've never been a big.
Wow. I love Star Trek.
Nerd. Philadelphia. And
Yeah.
King's Farm.
I haven't heard anybody really talking about Philadelphia much the last several months.
That's because they only talk about it when it's option.
Yep. Yeah. Let's check out the King Spawn. The variant's pretty good.
It's funny when a nerd calls someone a nerd.
Right? Battle Cat.
Stupid Star Trek nerds. And he's like, bro, I just found the best Pog collection.
Good Boy, Prodigal Son. Nobody wants that I know of. John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction. Look at this cover. This cover is awesome. I love that cover.
Yeah, I like that.
Who's the artist on that? Does it say?
Tim Bradstreet.
I'm with Cantankerous. I almost bought a TV, but they're for some reason selling out around here big time. Like, not just because it's
I hate buying TVs because the moment you set it up, you're like, fuck, my shit's out of date.
This is getting kind of ridiculous. When you got covers like this, it's just like, are you kidding me?
Is that boundless?
What are we doing here? This is Hell Witch and Lady Death.
What are they going to do with each other?
I can tell you what they're going to do with each other.
Wait.
I want them to tell me.
You just read it for the articles.
Yeah. Look at these covers, you guys.
Those are normally stuff they do on and then they'll probably have you can get the super exclusive Kickstarter one.
I wondered what was going on. I thought that was
from the biggest thing in comics, dude. Check out how long that's
from a distance. I thought that was a popsicle, and I couldn't figure out what was going on.
It's blank pages on the inside, Skeff. It's all like ads, like at the back of.
That's it. That's enough.
Coffee machine, faux charger. Yeah, a lot of great. It's funny. All us grown men talking about. I bought economical stuff.
A vacuum.
Yeah, so that's New Comic Day. That's just gonna leave us with one more thing. What you got for us, Beardo?
I love how Brian plays that. How quick can Andy get to the button game after he's been rambling for 20 minutes? My Cyber Monday, Black Friday, my one more thing is I culminated that and I found the score of a score for my Punisher collection. Now, if a lot of you guys have been following me on Instagram and other social media aspects, I've been working on a Punisher registry set for more than 15 years, and it's getting up there. It's like 71% complete. It's time to really start focusing on finding some of those books. And I got lucky, and on the far side of the great old state of Michigan, I found a seller with 3 pre-graded 9/8s already done, already ready to go. And he priced them at the cash price that I was hoping they would get priced at. I'm going to make the 6-hour round trip drive to go pick up these 3 books for my collection, or for this registry collection, because I feel like it's worth it. Now, I haven't told the wife yet, but I'm borrowing her car that's gets like 40 miles to the gallon. So
is it a crappy Prius?
No, it's a GM product, but hey, not that really matters anymore. But
I'm just kidding.
I'm really excited because that's my one more thing is this Saturday. I might go live on IG. I might clip and make some content. I'm feeling that hunt gene kicking back in. I'm really excited because of this correction in the market and where things have been. I'm seeing a lot of books come to the surface that people weren't willing to sell some time ago. And I don't know why that is. I'm not looking for super expensive, crazy Punisher keys. I'm looking for issue 79 or 84 or 95 of volume 2 CGC graded. That's what I'm working on. And it's amazing because a lot of those books only have 4, 5, or 6 copies on the census. It just didn't get graded. And because they didn't get graded, they're really hard to come by for the registry set. And I'm super, super amped to go. One, me, a new person, he's not new to the hobby, not new to the community. I'm sure a lot of people know him, but I've never met him before. And he has a nice little shop that he opens up on Saturdays. And I'm hoping to record some content to share on the channel for that.
Nice.
Not bad.
We got McClay.
Hey, my one more thing is what I'm doing right now, Whatnot. Come follow me on Whatnot. I'll be doing sales multiple times every week. 3 to 4 times a week. I'll be doing sales. I'm going to be doing a really cool thing coming up with my boy Anthony from Bird City Comics. I'm going to be doing this cool thing. I think I'm going to call it like McClay's Picks or something like that. But I'm in tandem with creating a membership on my YouTube channel. I'm going to have a box that members can order that working with Bird City that are going to have 5 picks. I'm going to make 5 FOC picks every week on Modern Comic Mayhem, and those books will be available, the however many weeks later they come out, and that box will go out to any of the members in that tier. And higher tiers will have like 10% to 20 to 25% discounts on Bird City Comics stuff. And also we're going to be doing special exclusive variants throughout the year that only members were going to have the available chance to buy. So if you guys are fans of Beyond Wednesday and what I do and you want to join that membership, be on the lookout for it. It'll be rolling out soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. My one more thing, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Joseph Reed. They had me on their on a show or another YouTube channel called Symbiote Elite. So I've seen them on for a while. I had a really good time being on there. It's if you don't know the channel, again, it's called Symbiote Elite, and it's just all about the symbiote stuff in comics. So it was cool to chalk it up and talk some shop with 3 other guys that have a collection and collect similar stuff that I do. And the cool thing about it is I found a book I didn't know about. So that was one of the coolest things. It was a book. If anyone has one for sale, you can let me know. It's a book out of Pro Action number 3, which is an NFL magazine, actually. And it had a 16-page promotional thing for Spider-Man in there, AS and Spider-Man. So it was a really cool experience. I'm really glad to be on the show. Hopefully I'll be on a couple more times, but check them out. It's called Symbiote Elite on YouTube. And then, stay tuned to Rhinoverse because there are some new things getting ready to happen within this here name, Rhinoverse.
Nice. My one more thing's probably more boring than everyone else's, but I watched a lot of World Cup, but I also watched some movies this week, and I finally sat down and watched Jordan Peele's Nope. It's streaming on Peacock. I loved that movie. It's probably my favorite Jordan Peele movie so far. If you haven't watched Nope and you have Peacock, make sure you guys watch it. There's also like a big making special on that. Fantastic movie, by the way. Good horror. And it kind of makes you look at things a little bit differently. And then also, I want to take the time on a more serious note is, hey, we're getting to holidays. I know we mentioned this before, but holidays is a great time for joy, but it's also a time where some people kind of don't get so joy and they sometimes feel depressed and they get secluded and they feel like they have no one to talk to, nowhere to go. That's not the case. If you are starting to feel depressed this holiday, make sure you guys reach out to someone, phone a friend, talk to anyone. We're always available here. I will also say, I'm putting in the chat right now that if you feel like you just need to talk to someone, you can text HOME to 741-741 to speak to a crisis counselor. Please, please, please. I know We always tend to think of Christmas as a great time, but there's people that don't feel that way. If you are one of those people and you need someone to talk to and you don't want to talk to one of us, please reach out to someone like that, because we don't want to find out after the fact that it was too late. We love everyone here. Great community. And we hope you guys have a wonderful week. God damn, it's only Tuesday. But we will see you next week as well.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real, but they clones.